What's going on, everybody? It's Super Robot Ed, and today we're going to talk about the new leaks that have come out. And these new leaks are basically Target exclusives, along with a new version of Optimus Prime, and possibly it sounds like a two-pack. Not understanding what it is about, but we'll explain that as we get through from what I think it is. Starting here, we have the Transformers Generation Beast Wars Maximal Multi-Pack. So I guess either it's going to be the same from from Kingdom, or is it going to be retools from Kingdom or repaints from Kingdom? I think that's what it's going to be. I don't think they're going to really go back and make another set of Beast Wars molds. Now, who the characters will be, I don't know. I don't really speculate on that. It just says multi-pack, and Target's good for having that multi-pack, so it possibly could be a 4-pack. That's probably, could it be? Could it be like the top guys, maybe Primal, some of the deluxes? I'm not 100% sure. Anyway, we're going to talk about the next slide here, and that's going to be the Hot Wheels Twin Mill 2. Now, I remember this casting. I want to say this is like 80s or 90s. I'm not a big fan of what they call the fantasy casting. So basically, when the designers for Hot Wheels design cars, they do, they basically design from, like a real car. And sometimes they'll embellish certain things. This is probably from this is like a redeco. I say it's like a redeco of the original Twin Mill, which I like the original Twin Mill better because that's part of the original. Well, 69. It's not 60. It's not one of the 68 molds, but it's 69. But to be honest with you, it's a good mold to use for a Transformer. You know what I'm saying? If you're an engineer, you can look at this and pretty much, make that robot from these parts here. So yeah, and of course it's Hot Wheels. Now, to save on licensing fees, they went basically with their in-house designs. Very smart, because if they pick like any other, they would have to pay full fees. And I don't think even Mattel nor Hasbro wants to do that. Next is a 3-pack of the Insecticons. And this is where I kind of go, okay. Now, do we get this, to replace the 3 that we have? I mean, a lot of people went through hoops and hurdles to get these 3, only for them just to slap it in a 3-pack once again. But as long as it's not the Lux Insecticons that are remolded from these, because, they need to be their own molds, I can see them probably adding chrome to parts, because I chromed out Shrapnel's pinchers. I chromed out the little Cerebral blaster on Chrome Dome and his head. I painted that actually silver more than I didn't like the gray. I never did any touch-ups to Kickback because, Kickback itself is probably one of the most simplest Transformers to ever own. But to see like a more robust 86 like deco or TV deco with the better color purple, I'm down with that. Then, of course, we hear next, this is still Target, is the Voyager Starscream. So anniversary. So yes, this is basically going to be the 40th anniversary of Studio Series 86. Will we get like Coronation? Will there be like a regular release and then a Coronation release? I don't know. We don't know anything yet, but I don't know. I mean, I don't think that they would want to put Starscream itself to be a Target exclusive unless it's something different than possible mainline release. I'm thinking that. And then plus it's 2026, 2027. So a lot of things could change or happen in that space. We've seen what happened with Hound. It was supposed to be a Target exclusive, and we had to pay $1 million for $1 million in the form of a 5-pack to get them. So I'm going to say, I'm off on that with a grain of salt. You know what I'm saying? What I will say is, though, it's really good that we're getting a new mold for the SS'86 Seekers. Amazing. Next is Prowl. And, how long is it going to be before we get a Prowl? And I think this is probably one of the worst things that Hasbro has dropped the ball on, as because a lot of people couldn't get a Prowl. Of course, Ironhide was put, redone and remolded and brand new mold in SS'86. So that made the Prowl and Ironhide 2-pack kind of, well, it's now all about Prowl. Now I have this, I got this for the regular price. I was lucky because, they canceled during that time. With the Ratchet and the Paradon Medic, I had to get that on the aftermarket for a little higher. But yeah, Amazon canceled a lot of people's orders for this. So I know that Prowl, a regular Prowl without battle damage, is a hot button item. And until we get another one, his price for just one figure is pretty high. Honestly, the deco is not 100% accurate, so I would rather tell you, wait for Hasbro. Now, those are all of the Target exclusives. Now, we have a Transformers Generation Studio Series Leader 1 TF Optimus. Now, the product number G3508 says a redo of 07 Bay Prime and a 27 liter. Okay, so is it a 2-pack? It sounds like a 2-pack. I mean, they didn't say pack, but sounds like a 2-pack. It says a redo of the 07 Bay Prime and a 27 liter. So basically, Commander Class Optimus Prime is pretty much, if you remove the trailer, he is liter size. Now, as far as Optimus Prime, the first movie, though, he was a brick. And in ROTF, he was a monster. We still own that toy. My son actually owns that toy. I used to have the special release from Takara that was for the DVD. It's a great mold. I honestly think that to this day, whatever Hasbro does, that engineering was on another level. It's still one of my favorite Optimus Primes that are not G1. I love ROTF Prime over the first one. And everybody knows, you got to understand. I'm kind of like, we need a new one, And then they said leader. Will that be kind of like what they did with the other Prime, where they add in the parts. So, for example, with the AOE leader class studio series, the new one, it's a lot of folding parts. A lot of people, to me, for Hasbro, it's a very top Optimus Prime. I will never refute that AOE Optimus Prime. It is nice. It's nice. You don't like it, I don't know. You just nitpicking. Go with unique toys, which that is even nicer. We know that. But it is what it is. I think that they'll probably bring us a better 07 Bay Prime using those tips and tricks from the way that they engineered the Age of Extinction Optimus Prime. So yeah, I'm all for that. And of course, leader class Optimus Prime, the 27 is probably just going to, like I said, commander class, in a different deco. And so with that being said, that pretty much wraps up the releases that we have right now. But how do you feel about any of these? So far, so good. I don't know what's in the multi-pack for the Maximals. We're going to hold off on that. Twin Mill 2, that's a gimme. The Lux Insecticon 3-pack, yes. Voyager Starscream, want to know what it does? But it sounds good. Anniversary Deluxe Prowl is bought. And this redo of the 07 Bay Prime and a 27 liter bought. So, what are your thoughts? Leave them down in the comments below. This is Super Robot Ed, bringing more news reveals to them. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.